Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So basically what I'm doing here is having a go at turning my first wooden bowl. So this lovely gorgeous big block of wood, it's only pine, but it's my first bowl, so it's pine. But this is actually a piece of a beam that came out of my house, and I thought, oh, I'd do something decent with it, turn it into a bowl. So just put it into the lathe there, and just turned it just quickly so I could see what sort of size I'd want it to be, and then used a normal wood saw to chop the old edges off. Then put it back in and used a couple of different just wood chisels there. They're, well, wood turning chisels that came with this lathe just to create the shape. So it's, if any of you actually watching have thought, yeah, I wouldn't mind having a go at wood turning and making a bowl, it's really good fun actually. And this lathe I've bought is just a cheaper sort of make. It's really not a fancy one at all. I mean, God, you can go on the internet and find ones that are thousands of pounds, but this was £160 and more than capable of doing what I wanted it to do. So with this swell, it's surprisingly awkward when you have just very, very straight edged tools to try to chisel a perfectly rounded edge into a bowl. So it's a bit like the sort of wood turning equivalent of trying to draw a perfect circle with a pencil. So yeah, basically just eating away more and more at this, try to get it to a nice depth. So then moving to the sides of the bowl, I wanted it to just be very sort of natural looking, very basic, and just taper down nicely and then round off at the base. So basically with this one, it's a lot easier to do the outside edges, as you can imagine, because you can just follow the shape of the edge and just smoothly turn the bottom of the bowl into a nice curve. Whereas with the front, well, the actual bowl part of the bowl, you're actually you're having to really think about what you're doing and work out when to draw the chisel back out, and how thick you're going as well, so you don't end up poking through the base or into the backing plate. With here as well, I realised that I wasn't quite as thin as I wanted it to be. I wanted it to feel reasonably delicate for a wooden bowl, or as delicate as a wooden bowl can feel. And just, yeah, kept working back into it, and then got to the point of, for me, the dreaded hand sanding. For other people, they love doing it. I've watched loads of videos of people just sanding and sanding and sanding and a bit more sanding, or filing. But for me, hand sanding, I would rather lick a toilet seat, but it's something you have to do. For all of you purists and wood turning purists out there, please turn away now. But the angle grinder is literally one of my favourite tools. You can use it to make anything: wood, steel, copper, every single type of, or plastic, any type of material you can use an angle grinder on. And I just use it on this every so often just to really smooth it out and then work back into it with the hand sanding. So for those of you still watching after I despicably used an angle grinder, oh look, I'm using it again. Oops. No, for all of you that are still watching, I went from 60 grit sandpaper up to 120. The 120 stage I stayed on for quite a long time, and then the final sort of finishing was with 320. The next stage once I've finished sanding, the more sanding you do, the better finish you're going to get in the end there. So even though I'm not a massive advocate of hand sanding, just keep at it and just keep sanding and sanding, and it will make a massive difference when you get to this point. And then there, what I'm doing is basically applying linseed oil. So it comes out very, very sort of blondie orange, which in truth wasn't exactly the colour I wanted. I wanted it more of a natural sort of wood colour. So next time I'll probably use some type of wax, just clear wax. But no, it still came up quite nicely and accentuates the knots as well in the wood. And here, what you really don't want to do when you're undoing the faceplate, after you've done all this sanding, all this linseed oil, don't drop the bowl, because it's going to dent it quite nicely, and then it will really ruin your day. So there we go, winning. No, so yeah, don't do that. Don't do what I just did. Then taking the backing plate off, and I then used the angle grinder again to nicely sort of smooth off the base so it sits very flat on the table. So obviously I didn't show every single piece of this, but it's sanding it, then adjusting it, seeing if it sits flat, then sanding again just in the high spots, just to the point that I can then put some more linseed oil on the base to complete it. So here, like I said, I'm just popping a bit more linseed oil on the rag, and then just putting it on just to give it that final last little bit. But yeah, again, like I say, it really does bring out the sort of grain in the wood, and it really accentuates the knots, makes them really, really nice and dark, really sort of pops against the slightly lighter colour of the rest of it. So guys, as I said before, if you have sort of wondered about doing wood turning or buying a lathe or making a bowl, I would definitely say to do it. It's great fun. My sort of lathe, like I said before, was very cheap, just a very basic one, and it's more than capable of doing this. So I'll leave you now with some photos of what it came from, a big block of wooden beam, to what it is now. And I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe for more. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. Excellent. Cheers guys, thank you very much for watching.